To the prairie now, where Sunup videographer Ed Barron covers a joint study between the USDA and Oklahoma State University and learns how eastern red cedar trees can impact the watershed.
Well, eastern red cedar encroachment into grasslands is a huge issue in Oklahoma and the Great Plains. And one of the big impacts is that red cedar uses more water than does native rangeland, which means there's less water available for agriculture and other uses. We've been researching what happens when you cut down red cedar and plant switchgrass in terms of productivity and then also water yield to streams. We're conducting the research at the watershed scale.
Watershed is a pretty standard approach in understanding the water yield or runoff in a given landscape. So the watershed, it is basically, if you have a location such as here, this low point, that means all water from that given location will eventually come to this point to be able to quantify how much water coming out of this watershed.
But how much water does a red cedar tree actually use?
It's a really tough question because it depends on tree size, the amount of leaf area, how wet the soil water is. We did some calculations, and a big cedar on a really wet soil period with a hot, dry, long day, it can use up to 50 gallons.
Of course, it depends the size of cedar. Depend whether it's stand alone or it is growing in a woodland. And also depend whether there is water available for the cedar tree to use. So, average a cedar tree for this site in particular, we did measure before the tree was cut. They use somewhere around 5-6 gallons per day. Before the treatment, the runoff from this both watersheds are pretty small. And after we cut the cedar, the runoff increased about 300%.
And all of that water could be going to places that really need it.
The runoff from this landscape are limited. However, those runoff are important for stream or for reservoir because humans need those water, and also wildlife, fish, they need those water. This encroachment by eastern cedar resulted in reduction of that runoff. We may have less water available for human use or for wildlife.
I guess what it emphasizes is for societal benefit, getting rid of red cedar in the landscape will increase water yield to streams. And that's important for all Oklahomans who take advantage of water that flows through streams and eventually into reservoirs. In terms of, say, cattle production, when you look at the native prairie, you can see the forage production that would happen with no intervention. And then obviously the ability to plant native grasses is there as well.
In Payne County, I'm Ed Barron.